And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ecommerce Connections by Amazon Sellers Society Summer Edition. We're very excited to host you to the very first Summer Edition event happening online so that you can join us from anywhere, even if you are on vacation. We're hosting this webinar on our YouTube channel, but for those of you that don't know me, hello, my name is Crystal, and I'm the founder of Amazon Sellers Society. We've helped and supported sellers since 2019. Amazon Sellers Society is a certified Amazon service provider as well as an ads agency. So primarily, we focus on Amazon as a marketplace for sellers to sell their products. And also, not only that, we also focus on Amazon in the Middle East. But today, we've got a great list of people who are joining us, guest speakers, some of them local in the UAE, and some of them joining us internationally from different parts of the world. And the focus of this summer event is to focus on you. If you are currently an Amazon seller, if you are currently an e-commerce seller, or if you're thinking of getting started and you need some basic information, we're going to try to help and support you in anything that you need. So for anyone that is joining us live, let us know in the chat box, please, where you're joining us from. And are you currently selling online? Yes or no? So just tell me the city where you're joining us from and tell me yes or no in the comments so that I know if you are currently selling. It can be that you're selling on Amazon, maybe you're selling on other marketplaces, maybe you're selling on your own website. So if you are currently selling online, type in yes. If you're not, type in no. So this is a live stream, but obviously it will also live on our platform, on our YouTube channel for a very long time. So if you're joining us not live, then just type in the same thing in the comments so that I can see and then understand who's watching. So Salwa is saying no, she's not selling. Hussein is joining us from the US. Very big time difference. So hey, Hussein. And everyone else, please, if you're joined right now, let us know which city you're joining us from. And if you are currently selling on Amazon or anything online, yes or no, would really love to know all of that. Now, with that being said, I'm going to introduce you to our first guest speaker. I'm very excited to have him on. This is our first time hosting anyone from the Dubai Commerce City on our channel. And we're very, very excited to bring you a lot of, in the future, a lot of events with Dubai Commerce City. So stay tuned. But everyone, please join me in welcoming Kapil from Dubai Commerce City, or better known as Short DCC. Hey, Kapil, how are you?
Hello, hi. How are you? I'm doing good, thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for
Welcome everyone for
attending.
this webinar.
Yeah, very excited. Kapil, can you just tell everyone a little bit more about you and your position at DCC? We're not going to tell everyone about DCC because that's what your presentation is going to be all about, but a little bit more about you.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit more on what I do. My name is
Yeah.
Kapil. I'm part of Dubai Commerce City Free Zone, based in Dubai. I work as a senior team leader handling digital solutions and partnerships. So, been with the organization for 2 years. We are
Great.
part of government of Dubai, so it's a semi-private entity. Uh, and I'm currently handling and supporting our tenants with all the value-added services requirements. At the same time, scouting for new partners to support our ecosystem. So that's primarily the role I manage at Dubai Commerce City.
Perfect. I'm sure it's been a very busy 2 years for you. So we're very grateful for everything that you do. I'm so
Yes.
excited that you said about supporting all of the Dubai Commerce City ecosystem, because for anyone that hasn't actually visited Dubai Commerce City, which is primarily very close to the Dubai airport, which is wonderful. It's a really, really great campus. I call it a campus because it's huge, but I'm sure you're going to explain to everyone. So, do you want me to help you with your presentation or are you ready, Kapil?
Well, Crystal, I think you can go ahead and share the presentation, and then I can continue.
Okay, worry not. I'll go ahead and do it for you. There you go. I'll let you go and I'll be controlling the presentation for you. So don't worry. Guys, if you have any question at any time for Kapil, please feel free to leave it in the comments and chat box. For Marina, yes, this is not recorded, this is live, but it will stay so that you can watch it later on if you want. Or if you have to pop out and leave, you can come back and watch it later on. For anyone that is, like I said, if you have any question for Kapil at any time, please pop them into the chat box. We'll try to answer them, or we'll answer them at the end. Or if you know anything about Dubai Commerce City, let us know. Okay, type in the chat. Have you heard about Dubai Commerce City? Have you visited Dubai Commerce City? Kapil, the floor is yours. I'm gonna remove myself.
Thank you, Crystal. So, welcome everyone for this webinar. For those who joined now, so Dubai Commerce City, we are 100% independent free zone based out of Dubai, and our strategy is mainly focusing on creating a pivotal government entity around digital commerce in the region. Yeah. So, yeah, next slide, please. Next slide. So, to give you some perspective on what's happening uh, in Dubai in terms of a digital economy strategy. So, a couple of figures, what you're seeing on the screen, we are looking at contributing to the FDI for Dubai as a part of D33 agenda. And that's where Dubai Commerce City was established in 2021. And we have certain guidelines as a part of D33 in order to contribute to foreign direct investment in digital commerce space. Yeah. Next slide, please. Again, I would like to focus since we have audience joining from various parts of the world. So it will be important for to understand what's happening in terms of GCC commerce landscape. As you are seeing on the screen, we are looking at cumulative average growth rate of 16% over next 3 to 5 years in the region. At the moment, the contribution for GCC in global e-commerce sales is around 0.5%, and definitely it's just a start for this particular market. I'm in this market since last 10 years. I have seen the entire transition since 2014, how things are moving, and I see a tremendous potential to really achieve this 16% CAGR for this region. With the internet penetration, of course, 65 to 67% of the users globally are using internet, while in GCC the penetration of internet is around 95%. That's really helping e-commerce and digital commerce in the region. Yeah. Next slide, please. As per the latest information available through various sources, we have some numbers here to understand the e-commerce landscape. We are looking at a target population of 61 million across the MENA region, which is technically a 5 hours flight from Dubai. And that's where the entire digital commerce or e-commerce concentration is in Dubai. We are looking at online sales of 37 billion at the moment, with average spend of $655 per user. So these are a couple of interesting statistics for any new business or existing business to really understand how to take it forward in the market. Next slide, please. This reflects in terms of the growth of new business setups in the region. Uh, Currently in UAE in H1 2023 versus H1 2022, we have seen 43% increase in terms of number of companies establishing in Dubai. Uh, this I'm talking of the overall market as in UAE. So 30,000 new businesses have established in 2023 H1 alone, and this number is growing. We are trying to compile the figures for 2024, and it'll be interesting to join the next webinar wherein Crystal and team and myself will be giving you update on what's happening in 2024. Yeah. So, as I said, we are trying to be a pivotal entity in UAE around digital commerce, and that's the strategy we are driving. Our mission is to contribute to the digital economy and future technology related strategies in the region. Next slide, please. Our positioning, of course, capital creating becoming a capital of digital commerce, driving the distinctive advantages and competitive landscape in the UAE, and become a pivot central entity to help businesses to expand in digital commerce space. Next slide. So, a little bit on the overview. We have started operations in 2021 with a dedicated area of 2.1 million square feet. We are next to Terminal 3, which is Emirates Airline Terminal 3. We are 3 minutes away by car and 10 minutes by walk. Essentially, the Dubai Commerce City is divided into three clusters. One is the business cluster, which is offering 12 buildings of fitted offices. These are brand new facilities under development. I'll show you the 3D master plan in the next slide. The second cluster is the logistics cluster, wherein we have 20 dedicated warehouse units, four large e-fulfillment centers, and one multi-client warehouse facility as well, which I'll share you more details in the coming slides. And of course, the social cluster, when there are people, it's a community, right? So we need to create restaurant, food halls, cafes, retail stores. We have a large exhibition hall which can accommodate 1,000 people for event. That's also available for businesses established in Dubai Commerce City as well as businesses across the globe. Yeah. Next slide. Type of working spaces. Interesting offering from our end is the smart desk, which is a dedicated 7.5 square meter space for any startup who is looking to expand in this region. uh, this comes with a business license as well as a dedicated space. Of course, if you look at shell and core offices and fitted offices, we have offices for any size and type of business, starting from 25 square meter all the way up to the client's requirement. So that's our the space portfolio for now. Next slide. Warehouses, as I mentioned, 20 dedicated unit, four large e-fulfillment center, which is of interest for Amazon sellers and part of this community for sure. I can deep dive a little more as we go forward what exactly these fulfillment centers are. Next slide. Again, the offices portfolio, I already explained to you what we have. In terms of the logistics space, we have dedicated light inventory units, 367 square meter. We have optional fitted solutions. We have recently integrated with Dubai Customs through a blockchain platform, and that is going to create an easy flow of B2C orders from free zone to mainland. We have recently partnered with one of the largest fulfillment companies from Nakil, from Saudi Arabia, called as Nakil, which is helping the cross-border expansion for businesses into Saudi market. Next slide. Recent statistics, as I mentioned, we have a footprint of around 2.1 million square feet. Currently, 2,300 plus employees are working within our facility. We have around 370 active clients, out of which 10% are MSE. That shows that there's a good potential for small and medium enterprises customers to explore Dubai Commerce City as an option to set up their businesses. Out of 370 plus companies, 53% of the companies have e-commerce as an activity added on their trade license. And we are helping companies to get all the documentation like TDRA, NOC to sell online, uh, the marketplace expansion services. So these support services are also part of ecosystem, which I'll tell you in the next slide. So for any business to start expanding or entering the market, we are advising companies through a strategic consulting services that will include your market entry assessment, how to be compliant, considering the local compliance requirement, what should be the digital strategy for the region, Once the business goes through this strategic consulting exercise and decides to establish and grow in this region, we as a government entity, we are able to support you on your business setup requirements. That will include your trade license, getting the required visas, bank account opening, consulting on the compliance, corporate tax structure, and VAT as well. If your products are required to be registered with Dubai Healthcare Authority or Dubai Municipality, we are helping businesses on that part as well. The third and most important pillar, warehousing and last mile. The business is ready to kickstart, but where to store your products? And that's where we help businesses through the options which I discussed earlier, 4E fulfillment options and one multi-client fulfillment option. So that's one important aspect we are able to help out. As per the recent statistics, internally we have helped around 20 plus businesses to take care of their warehousing and last mile fulfillment option through the Ecommerce City ecosystem. Digital platforms and services, as all of us know, content is a king when it comes to selling online. We are helping businesses to create the right content, helping businesses to expand marketplace listing in the region. That's also a critical part for Amazon e-sellers. So that service is available with the e-commerce city ecosystem. Yeah, next slide. Now, we are delivering all these services through a strong network of our partners. Currently, we have around 40 plus active partners in our portfolio. For example, if you look at warehousing and last mile as a service, we have a dedicated multi-client warehouse operated by Hellman. This is of interest for Amazon sellers as well. Two reasons. One is finding a dedicated unit for small to mid-size sellers is a challenge in Dubai because real estate is expensive. So we have created this option in 2021 by collaborating with Hellman Logistics. This facility is around 60,000 square feet multi-client facility. So we have a couple of Amazon sellers also who are storing in Hellman facility in Dubai Commerce City. Now the interesting part here is we are the only free zone wherein B2C e-commerce orders are fulfilled through Dubai Customs. So we have a special approval from Dubai Customs to fulfill B2C orders for businesses operating from Dubai Commerce City. So there is a monthly reconciliation and settlement option with Dubai Customs for VAT and duty payment. Similar arrangement is available for other warehousing partners like TradeLink, Nakil, Arvato. Very soon they will be starting operations for warehousing and last mile as well. Yeah. Then in terms of business support, as I said, that's our core business, and we have very strong partners in case any business is looking to secure a domain. Tashjil is our partner. In case you need a banking services, Emirates, NBD, and Vivo. Vivo is region's first digital bank, digital only bank. So we have a strong partnership with them in order to open a business bank account. And a couple of other partners on the digital and platform side, as seen on the screen. We have a channel engine from Europe, which is helping businesses to expand across global marketplaces, 170 plus marketplaces. So they have a platform which is pre-integrated. So if any business is looking for expanding it into regional and global marketplaces, they are our preferred partner to go to. Yeah, we have a payment gateway partner, Tap Payment, again a regional leader in payment gateway services. So we have a strong partnership with them as well. Next slide, please. Our clients and partners, as you see on the screen, I explained on the logistics part who are the partners. There is one interesting partner I find valuable for Amazon sellers is the Spaces. So Spaces is basically a global co-working facility. We have signed a partnership with them, and we have given them a dedicated 17,000 square meter space in Dubai Commerce City. And the beauty for this collaboration is any business who takes Dubai Commerce City license and office with spaces, they can access 3,000 plus global market, 3,000 plus global spaces facilities. Spaces is again a part of Regus. So any facility of Regus and spaces is available for access globally. Yeah, next slide, please. In 2023, as I said, we are more focused on the ecosystem approach, wherein we are kind of a matchmaker. We are trying to create the collaboration opportunity for our tenants, and we were able to create 100 plus collaboration opportunities amongst our tenants. Couple of examples as we move forward to next slide. Hellman, again a Squat Wolf, Maple, Ninja, these are the brands, leading brands for storing with Hellman. We were able to support technology services for brands like Bone Primitive, Trade Supplement, Correction Arabia. Then, of course, the other allied services like fit outs, and Westbrook is one of the leading players in the interior fit out space. So, we were able to help our clients in terms of their office fit out requirements as well. Next slide, please. Incubator, DCC as an incubator, we have a VC fund called as Orasia. At the beginning of 2024, our parent entity, Dubai Integrated Economic Zone, under that we launched a VC fund called as Orasia. This fund is mainly focusing on providing growth capital for revenue generating businesses. And once the business is established in Dubai Commerce City, we are giving them the right information and the contacts to work with Orasia. And all other elements like fulfillment services are already taken care through our network. Next slide, please. Couple of pictures with last 3 years of operation. We are trying to be very open and vibrant community amongst all the uh, free zones in the region and in UAE as well. Next slide. Growth accelerators. We have recently signed with Wafi Mall mid 2023 to launch and support their phygital store. So basically, in this store, brands and sellers can showcase their products. If the consumer wants to buy the product, they will have to go a dedicated marketplace link, complete the order, and the order will be delivered next day or same day, depending on the option selected. Yeah. Next slide. As I said earlier, we are close to 3 billion consumers within 5 hours flight radius. So that makes the cross border business feasible to operate from Dubai and UAE as a hub. Yeah. Next slide. Now, very important consideration for any business as well as Amazon sellers. So this will be my last slide for the presentation for now. We are a free zone, so we are any business operating out of Dubai Commerce City free zone is exempted from customs duty and VAT. Typically, the customs duty is 5% and VAT is 5%. But as long as business is having Dubai Commerce City license and goods are stored inside Dubai Commerce City, any of the warehouses, then the customs duty and VAT is not applicable. Uh, this is very unique to us because the only catch here is goods needs to be in Dubai Commerce City warehouse. Yeah. And this way you can complete your B2C e-commerce shipments by paying customs duty only for the orders, only for those particular B2C orders, not on the whole import. This is an advantage we are bringing for the businesses. Now, as maybe people from our audience from UAE is aware, all the free zones, you can have 100% ownership of your profits and revenue. No need to have a local partner. Location benefit, we are close to Dubai Airport free zone. So for international businesses, this becomes an advantage who are frequently flying for their business operations. We are helping on the business bank account opening, domain registration, VAT registration. These are additional services as a part of ecosystem. So that's my last slide for today. Next slide, please.
Next slide. Aha.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, Crystal. So I think floor is open for question answers.
I think the first question that Hassan asked prior to you getting started, I think you were able to answer it perfectly well, Kapil. So, what is
Thank
the
you.
difference between Dubai Commerce City and a normal? I believe what he meant was maybe a normal, like a different free zone. So the uniqueness of Dubai Commerce City is because it was really established for e-commerce sellers. And as you saw through Kapil's presentation, it's not necessarily for you if you just want to sell in the UAE. This is a free zone that was created for someone that wants to expand beyond the UAE. And I know almost everyone that gets started in e-commerce, everyone
Yeah.
wants to look at the GCC region or even the larger region around us. That's the honestly that's the beauty about e-commerce, because you could actually do that quite easily, I would say.
Yes, correct. So just to add on it, Crystal, for
Sure.
audience which is new to the concepts of free zone and mainland,
Yes. Yeah.
I'll give you a broader numbers to understand. In UAE, there are 45 free zones. In Dubai, we are looking at around 20 to 22 free zones, 20 to 22.
Mhm.
And what differentiates Dubai Commerce City is the proximity to the airport, so the location
Yeah.
for any e-commerce business. Now the consumers in particularly in UAE market are spoiled with same day delivery or delivery in 1 hour, right? So
Yeah.
that is becoming the standard of the market, and that's where the location of fulfillment facility for e-commerce sellers is of importance. And we are right at the heart of the city, as I mentioned before. Second is exemption of custom duty and be able to complete B2C shipments is very unique to Dubai Commerce City. None of the other 22 free zones have this arrangement with Dubai Customs. Yeah.
True.
Say, for example, I'll give an example. If any particular seller or brand is importing goods worth of $100,000, if they have a license from any other free zone or mainland, their import of $100,000 will be subject to 5% customs duty at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Dubai Commerce City, if the Dubai Commerce City based company imports goods worth of $100,000, then the customs duty is exempted as long as goods are stored inside Dubai Commerce City. Now what next? Once you import the goods stored in Dubai Commerce City, so if you are a seller on brand store or any marketplace platform and the B2C order is placed on your platform, to fulfill that B2C order, you will have to pay customs duty for only that particular B2C order, not on the whole import. So that is giving a lot of leverage in terms of free working capital for businesses. This is very
Exactly.
important point. We are seeing a lot of customers from other free zones and mainland entities trying to get this advantage. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
a broader understanding what differentiates us from the other market. Yeah.
Kapil, thank you so much for also providing your direct contact information.
Yeah.
For anyone that wants to is looking to start incorporating in Dubai Commerce City, can they contact you, or log in and find Dubai Commerce City and contact Dubai Commerce City directly, or do they have to go through business registration service providers in the UAE, as an example?
As I said, we are creating very open and transparent environment.
Yeah,
Of course, channel partners are part of the overall equation,
of
right? So we
course.
can't ignore them. But
Yeah.
we are very open for any business who has an inquiry in terms of how to set up their operation. Feel free to reach out to Dubai Commerce City through direct website. You can inquire to Amazon Seller Society. Crystal has been very
Yeah, thank
supportive
you.
in terms
Yeah.
of helping the community to find the right information. So, any option, we are open to entertain directly for the
And I would suggest
inquiries.
to anyone that's watching us, Kapil, to just go to Dubai Commerce City, enjoy like a coffee in the many cafes. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. You can have a coffee. You can just check out and understand the ecosystem that was created. And by the way, I'm also a member of Spaces, and it's such a great idea because I'm able, wherever I travel, I'm able to find an office, and just we're able to go and work from that office. So you're giving so many advantages to
Yeah.
small as well as large sellers. But if you're a small seller, you shouldn't feel like, oh, this is like too big for me. This Dubai Commerce City was created for anyone that is looking to set up an e-commerce business, whether that
Yeah.
be in the UAE or within the region. So thank you so much, Kapil.
Thank you. Thanks for giving this opportunity, Crystal. I
Thank
wish
you
you
so
all the
much for
best
your
to
time. And
communicating this.
anyone that
Thank
needs anything can reach out to you directly, or they can contact us and we can put them in connection with Dubai Commerce City. Thank you again for your time.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll be removing Kapil. Let us know if you have any questions, because if you type in your questions in the comments or right now in the chat and Kapil has left us and he can't answer your questions, I'll make sure that I get your questions over to Dubai Commerce City. Maybe if we get a lot of questions and comments, we can do any type of follow-up again with Kapil and Dubai Commerce City. So thanks again to Kapil and Dubai Commerce City. And on to our next guest. This is a company that is one of my favorite companies. I talk about them all the time. And if you know me and you watch the channel and you follow us online, you know that I'm the brand ambassador for Payoneer in the GCC region. So I'm not gonna be talking about Payoneer today. So please join me in welcoming Mark. Hey, Mark. Hi. Oh, let me unmute you.
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
just realized I still muted myself.
No
Hi.
worries. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. I know. So, for anyone that's watching us now, I want you to type in, let us know if you're familiar with Payoneer. Just type in yes, no, just so that we know if we're doing a good job with informing you about Payoneer or not. So, Mark is certainly doing a great job with doing a lot of events and stuff like that. And thank you so much, Mark, for supporting us today. Uh, Give us a little bit of a background about you, Mark, before we dive into your presentation. Also,
Sure.
we've got people here that are typing no, no, no. Great. Then we're
Yeah.
going to tell you about Payoneer. That's fantastic.
We've got our work cut out for us today by the looks of it. But yeah, no, a bit about myself. I've been with Payoneer for almost 3 years now and been in Dubai for about 6 or 7 years as well.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I've always worked in payments and working with Payoneer, we've been able to help all sorts of companies from e-commerce sellers, B2B sellers around the world in terms of growing their business and just try and make their business a bit more efficient. That's the kind of goal, while making things a bit easier for them as well. So yeah, it's been great so far and I'm looking forward to today's presentation, and thanks for having us as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I will remove myself. If you do your presentation from your screen, guys, Mark has a wonderful presentation. You're not going to be able to see us, Mark. You're just going to be able to see your screen, but worry not. I will let you know if anything is happening.
No worries at all.
So do you want to try to share your screen now?
Yep, let me share
Yeah.
my screen.
We do have Maha who says yes, she is familiar with Payoneer. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Maha. Let us know if you're currently using Payoneer. And we do have a few attendees that don't know about Payoneer, which means, like Mark said, we need to do a better job. But hopefully you'll understand a little bit more. Perfect.
Perfect. Let me just share. And you can still see it now, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, ideal.
There we go.
Perfect. Well, look, thanks a lot again for having us, Crystal, and I'm looking forward to speaking to everyone today. Like Crystal had mentioned, there's a lot of no's to knowing Payoneer, so I do have my job cut out for me. But like I mentioned, a bit about myself, I'm a senior business development manager at Payoneer, based here in Dubai, but we look after the whole of the Middle East and North Africa region from our location here. And my goal is to help businesses in terms of making their global footprint and growing internationally a lot easier via the Payoneer platform. But I want to just kind of zoom out and look a bit more and give kind of some context to people that don't know who Payoneer are, a bit about kind of who we are. So we're a NASDAQ listed business headquartered in the US. So we're a publicly traded entity. And we currently have over 5 million customers, from freelancers all the way up to large multinational businesses. And we support over 200 countries around the world. And what I mean by that is onboarding companies and customers from over 200 countries around the world. And as you can see, we process over $50 billion through our platforms, actually much higher than that now, via the Payoneer platform, from all sorts of companies and freelancers around the world. Again, just from their perspective, growing their business, growing their footprint globally. Now, some of the pain points that I've seen companies in the UAE face when it comes to how they do business, how they can manage their business, is all of the above here. Now, some of these might not be completely relevant to Amazon sellers or to e-commerce sellers as well, but I'm sure a lot of companies, or if you're not set up in the UAE yet, businesses around the world can also face the same problems as well. So from getting a global banking solution, having an account in which you can receive funds around the world easy and seamlessly, FX costs that can really hit the bottom line of your business, limited payment methods, be it on the B2B side, which is more what I'm talking about just now, but also even if you look at B2C products as well in terms of receiving funds from individuals, no payment linked options, and challenges in general of getting paid. On the right-hand side, now I'll go into more depth in terms of how Payoneer can actually help companies alleviate these problems. But we're essentially a one-stop shop. We're an all-in-one payment solution for businesses. It's a fully digital solution for companies to onboard from all around the world. Like I mentioned, over 200 countries around the world. And you can receive funds from clients, from marketplaces, from partners of ours, which I'll talk about in a second, and then pay all of your business expenses from subcontractors, suppliers, expense management, and so on and so forth. And clearly, one of the big advantages of being a digital first solution is our ability to simply and quickly onboard a company so that you can get your business off the ground and start growing internationally as you intended. One of the ways in which we do this, and one of the kind of things that's unique to Payoneer, is we're not a bank. We are a payments provider. And our unique global infrastructure, our global banking infrastructure, is what helps us service millions of customers all over the world and really solve a lot of their issues when it comes to collections, payouts, and managing all of their international transactions. So we work with tier one banks like Citibank, Deutsche Bank, but all the way down to small select payment providers in certain parts of the world where it might be a bit more challenging to pay out to certain subcontractors, etc., in that part of the world. But having the breadth of payment partners that we work with means that we can offer not just one banking solution or not just one payment solution for our customers. We have up to 99 different banking partners that we work with to make sure that we meet our customers' requirements and our needs. Now, these are digital brands you'll all be familiar with. Obviously, from Crystal's perspective, most of her clients will be selling on Amazon as well. But all of these companies either partner with or work with Payoneer in one way, shape, or form. And that can be from paying their users like on Amazon, on Jumia, Walmart, etc., or from a freelancer getting paid from their work on Upwork or Fiverr. All of our platforms, our SMBs, our e-commerce sellers need to use these platforms in one way, shape, or form. And that's why we have partnerships and integrations, etc., with these types of companies to make it easier for them in terms of doing their business. But I just wanted to go into a bit more depth about who we actually are, what we actually do, and the products and services that we offer that are really going to move the needle for certain e-commerce sellers, certain B2B businesses, any company in general that's trading internationally. And like I mentioned, one of our goals is to be a one-stop shop solution for your international transactions. We don't really specify or work too much on local payments because that's what local banks are there for. Where we step in is on the international sphere. And regardless of what company you are, be it an e-commerce seller, marketplace seller, or a large multinational business-to-business company, you need to get paid, you need to hold funds, you need to pay out to pay expenses and other kind of value-added services as well. And that's the kind of element of a one-stop shop. So we have multiple receiving accounts in multi-currencies. We have our payment link option. This is much more on the kind of B2B side. We have the ability through our receiving accounts to plug into marketplaces all over the world. So if you're a UAE seller on Amazon and you want to start selling on Amazon Europe, Amazon Japan, Amazon Australia, you can do that via your Payoneer account by having these multi-currency receiving accounts via Payoneer and have access directly into these marketplaces and allow you to really grow globally on these large marketplaces like an Amazon, like a Walmart, and so on and so forth. And then we have in-network payments. A lot of e-commerce sellers already have their suppliers on Payoneer, which is a huge advantage when it comes to paying your suppliers as well. You can send a Payoneer to Payoneer transaction, which is almost instantaneous, meaning that, and it's extremely cost effective, meaning that you can then process all of your transactions for your business as well. And when it comes to Payoneer Checkout, this is our new kind of B2C payment gateway product. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but I'm happy to explore it with people if they want some more information after this or share some information via Crystal on it. But when it comes to Payoneer Checkout, this is really our next step to become that full one-stop shop solution for B2C and B2B sellers. Right now, there's a few, I would say, qualifications that companies have to follow to be able to have access to Payoneer Checkout, but it's something I'm happy to talk more about one by one or via Crystal if someone has any kind of questions. And then when it comes to paying, you've got to pay suppliers, pay your subcontractors, pay all of your expense management, your advertising costs. and then integrate with global platforms like an Amazon and so on and so forth. Now, how our actual receiving accounts work, we essentially allow you to have multi-currency accounts under your company name. And the big benefit here is these multi-currency accounts are in the country of the currency. So if you set up a Euro multi-currency account with Payoneer, this Euro account is based in the European Union, which means that number one, Amazon can pay you into it and other marketplaces can pay you into it, but also means if you're collecting funds from a client or whoever else, it also means that you have a global footprint when it comes to banking services as well, or virtual currency accounts as well. And you can get paid via local payment methods or via SWIFT in US dollars and also euros now. And then you can easily manage all of your foreign exchange on the platform. You can pay out to over 120 currencies worldwide. So you can pay to your suppliers, your subcontractors anywhere in the world, and ultimately reduce your foreign exchange fees and reduce that burden, and therefore increasing your kind of profit margin when it comes to managing your business on Payoneer as well. One of the huge products that's really come out in the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years for Payoneer has been our card product. And this can go across the board from any type of company. Every company has expenses, some more than others, but our card product, be it a digital or a physical card, depending on your requirements, is hugely used in the e-commerce world to pay advertising costs, to pay expenses, etc. And what you can do is you can maximize your savings by using your international currency card. So our cards are denominated in currencies like dollars, euros, GBP, meaning if you're paying for advertising online, most of it is denominated in dollars, and therefore you're saving quite a lot on foreign exchange versus using a local card. All of our cards are backed by MasterCard, which means you have one of the best acceptance rates around the world. We also have ability to have huge limits on the cards as well for companies that have, really varied requirements when it comes to card usage. We can go up to, $100,000 a day on a card, for example, for some of the larger customers. And it means that they can just scale whenever they have to advertise, whenever they have to grow. They have the ability to scale up drastically using the Payoneer card. And on top of that, we've got a bunch of different cashback offers as well that we offer to customers based on your usage on the card. But it just gives you that extra advantage and that extra kind of reward system for using the kind of Payoneer card when it comes to your business. And the good thing is it's all linked to the funds that are in your account. So these aren't credit cards. These are essentially debit cards that are linked to your Payoneer balance. So if you have $10,000, you have the ability to spend that via the Payoneer card or send out to suppliers and subcontractors, like I've already mentioned. And this is a kind of huge leverage of working with Payoneer, is our kind of partnership ecosystem, I suppose we could say, with partners already like Amazon Seller Society, who we work closely with for a long time, but other partners as well from marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, and from e-commerce platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce. We have plugins for various of these different platforms for your different needs, be it getting paid from marketplaces, be it using Payoneer checkout on one of these shopping carts that's mentioned at the top, or plugging into a Zoho, an Upwork, or utilizing the kind of partner ecosystem that we have with like an Amazon Seller Society, for example. What it allows you to do is not only use our payment methods, use our payment rails to help grow your business and expand your business. It allows you to actually grow your partner network globally as well, get into new marketplaces. And I'll give you an example. We have a lot of managed customers that we look after that sell on Amazon, because Amazon's the biggest marketplace in the world, right? But what we've been able to do is actually introduce them to some of our other marketplaces we work with, like a Walmart, for example, and really get their products, get their business into a whole new sector and a whole new marketplace, and especially a growing one like Walmart, and have them access these different markets as well. And it's made a huge difference to their business in terms of growing internationally and also their footprint as well. So it's a really powerful story how you can leverage your relationship with Payoneer to grow your business, not only through the marketplaces you're familiar with, but also the ones that we partner with as well and work very closely with as well. And I just wanted to kind of summarize a bit about the platform itself. Like I mentioned before, regardless of what your company does or what size of business that you have, every company does very similar things. They have to get paid from their customers, hold funds, manage those funds, and then pay out to pay their various expenses or pay to their local banks for profit or for local expenses and so on and so forth. And this will just kind of take you through a bit about what we offer. So on the left side, we have our local IBAN accounts in 9 currencies. This can get paid via Stripe, be it PayPal, via other payment gateways that aren't mentioned there, but we can integrate with almost all of them around the world to get paid in multi-currency. We also have our global USD and actually now our Euro IBAN solution, which basically means you can get paid from any marketplace around the world, regardless if they're not in one of the countries or currencies mentioned on the top left. If we look at like a Jumia, for example, that's quite strong in Africa, we've got a very close partnership with them, and they pay a lot of Payoneer users that sell on their marketplaces via the Payoneer rails. And then we've got a request a payment, much more of a B2B product, I will add, but it's a very, very useful one. If you have smaller invoices, $5,000, $10,000 that you want to get paid from a company, you can simply send them a payment link directly from your Payoneer account, and they can pay via credit card or they can pay via a bank transfer as well. Then in the middle, we obviously have an online desktop or an app where you can manage all of your funds, your multi-currency accounts. You can see your statements. You can integrate with platforms like a Zoho, like a Xero for accounting software, and you can manage everything you need to from a payments perspective via the platform. And on the right-hand side, this is where all the expenses come into play. If I use an example of a customer that I have that sells on Amazon around the world, they quite often will use us to pay their suppliers, receive money from Amazon, pay their suppliers in China, and then withdraw their remaining funds for local expenses to their local UE bank in dirhams. And what that does is it allows them to reduce their foreign exchange bill across the board and then take advantage of the strength of local banks in the UAE for local dirham to dirham transactions to pay their local expenses, pay their salaries, and so on and so forth. Then via paying their suppliers, they can pay out to 200 countries around the world in over 100 currencies. And the card product, like I've touched on a lot, which is heavily used across the board for Payoneer customers, especially within the e-commerce market. So it's such a strong product for the industry. And then again, like I mentioned, if any of your service providers or suppliers are on Payoneer, which a lot of them are in the e-commerce space, you have the ability to pay out directly into their Payoneer account almost instantaneously as well, and extremely cost effective, if not completely free in certain markets as well. So that's a kind of high level overview of the platform, what we offer businesses as they grow. And I think what you can see here, if we take a company that sets up in, Commerce City here in Dubai, and they want to start selling all over the world, there's a huge amount of benefits that Commerce City adds in terms of logistics, in terms of warehousing and so on, that was touched on before. But where Payoneer can plug into that is how you expand from the UAE outwards, to Europe, to the UK, US, China, so on and so forth. You can leverage Payoneer's products and services for that. And just on that, this is an example of one of our customers who's been using Payoneer for a few years, and they essentially leverage the products and services that I've touched on before. They sell on Amazon, eBay, and Jumia, and they also are a B2B wholesaler as well. So they really use a lot of Payoneer's products and services. They get paid almost entirely via USD and Euro. And as you can read there, I won't read it all, but they've used Payoneer for a while. They received USD and Euro via Amazon and Jumia, and also receive funds directly from their B2B wholesaling customers as well. They use their cards for company expenses and advertising, and ultimately speaking, manage all of their currencies, manage their growth, and manage their international transactions via Payoneer, and can then withdraw funds to their local bank if they need to in Nigeria, for example, in this instance, for local expenses, local salary payments, and so on. So this is my last slide when it comes to what Payoneer can add, but it's a really powerful one to show how businesses from all over the world, not just the UAE, can leverage Payoneer's banking infrastructure, products and services to really take advantage of the products that we offer to grow your business from a one market, a two market company to around the world with no restrictions, be it from receiving payments to paying out and so on and so forth.
Yeah, any questions? Well, let me tell you, Mark, I love Yassine's comment because Yassine is saying, Crystal has been talking a lot about Payoneer. Thank you, Yassine. I hope I'm not annoying you though, Yassine. However, Mark, if you remember, we started really featuring Payoneer back in I think it was probably when Amazon KSA started, because there was a lot of Amazon UAE sellers that were looking to start selling on Amazon Saudi. However, because of not being able to open a local bank account in Saudi, people started looking for solutions. And obviously, they stumbled upon a Payoneer. But ever since then, of course, Payoneer has established itself a lot better in the region and provides so many solutions, which you perfectly explained. So thank you so much, Mark. I guess
No, thank
we don't have any questions. Mark, if somebody wants to register a Payoneer account, what should they do?
Sure. One of the best processes to do it is just go directly to payoneer.com and you can register directly on the website. It's very, very simple. And you can fill in all of your company details, be it a company you've registered in Commerce City, and register for your Payoneer account. All of the, like I said, it's a digital first solution. So all of the onboarding is done via the platform, all the documentation upload and everything. And you'll be able to get your account open, hopefully extremely quickly, and then get your business kind of off the ground.
Yeah. And to be clear, Mark, you can open a Payoneer account if you're an individual, or you can open it as a business as well.
Correct. Yeah. Both options are available.
Yeah. So if you still haven't established your business and you're just getting started on Amazon, as a lot of sellers know, you can get started on Amazon as an individual. So Payoneer can be a solution for you to get started, because you certainly don't want to be using your personal bank account to get funds from Amazon, as an example. So that could be just a way to get started online if that's what you're looking. But Payoneer is a solution that grows with you as you grow your business. And that's exactly what you need, because we as Amazon sellers and as e-commerce sellers, the sky is the limit, Mark. But when it comes to expansion, you always, you want to expand, and then you realize, oh, okay, no, I need this and this and this. You need all of these solutions to be able to expand easily. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Just on that, I've come across quite a few clients that have started off their business as an individual and really scaled it up drastically, and then realized, actually, I need to now make this more official with a company, and they've been able to transition, register with Payoneer, and just let their business continue on as well. So it's definitely something that's required in the market.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Mark, for your time. Highly appreciate it. And anyone that requires anything, you could just easily go to the Payoneer website. It's obviously www.payoneer.com. And you'll find a lot of information, a lot of FAQs. How many users are currently using Payoneer? Is it like around 2 million?
Yeah, we're definitely in the millions in terms of users. And again, that can be across freelancers, large multinational businesses, all varies from company to company.
So it's quite a huge company. So they have a really well-established support team. You can find everything in the FAQs, the support team. And by the way, you'll find information about Payoneer in any language. You'll also find support information in Arabic as well, if that makes more sense to you. One last question from Varun before I let you go, Mark. So hi, Varun. Varun is one of our sellers, our clients, which we work with directly, by the way, Mark. So he's saying, does Payoneer have different set of privileges? Oh, that's a great question. So is there any difference between having like an individual Payoneer account versus a business Payoneer account?
The difference is more go to scale, like you mentioned. Normally, an individual, say Amazon seller, is a smaller seller versus a company, right? So as your business does grow on Payoneer, you'll have access to different channels via account management, via better cashback rewards on cards, like I'd mentioned, as your business grows. So it really depends on the size of company. I wouldn't say there's a set difference in privileges. It can happen to just an automatic account, from just general limitations or limits, I should say, and the size of payments you can make from an individual account versus from a business account. And as you grow your business, we can get rid of those limitations, etc. It's, again, normally what I see is individual sellers are on the smaller side, and as they grow their business, make it a bit more official with a company registration, we can then offer them slightly better fees, slightly better limitations, etc., or lack of limitations on the size of transactions, number of transactions they can make on their account, to really unrestrict their business, right, and allow them to grow.
Perfect. Another question also, does it support people who don't have any bank account so as to deal with cash withdrawals of payments?
Unfortunately, when you register with Payoneer, you do have to have a bank account linked to the account, or to the individual account as well. So you do have to have that. We are very much a digital first online payment solution. Obviously, our physical card product, you can withdraw cash from an ATM. A lot of freelancers use that side of the product to take advantage of it. But in general, there does have to be a bank account linked to your Payoneer registration. And when you go to payoneer.com and register, you'll see that as part of the registration flow. You'll have to put those details in. So yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. And just to clarify also, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, normally bank account statements, very much similar to when you open an account on Amazon, are normally used to verify your identity. And you might also be required to upload a bank account statement just for identity verification, maybe during the opening process or later on. So
Yeah.
with Payoneer, it's certainly the case for Amazon. So yeah, you need to
very,
have
very similar.
some
Yeah,
sort of
it can be a statement that's uploaded for your proof of address or for proof of the bank account itself. But yeah, very similar to Amazon.
Perfect. Thank you so much again, Mark, for your time. Highly appreciated and hope to see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Crystal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, with that being said, thank you so much, Mark, for all of that information. On to our next guest, one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. She's very, very, very well known in this space, of course. Let me know if you guys have ever considered, before I tell you who she is, I think you already know, but let me know if you've ever considered sourcing products from India, Vietnam, or Turkey, not necessarily just from China. And if you have considered it, was it something easy for you to, find suppliers and manufacturers? So please welcome our next guest, Megla from India Sourcing Network. Hey, Megla.
Hey, Crystal.
I can
So
hear the
excited to
crowd
be
saying,
here.
hey.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Well, you are one of my favorite people in this e-commerce world as well. So awesome to be here.
Thank you so much for your time, Megla. And thank you so much for being so generous always with your information and knowledge. You are such an expert in the sourcing space. You've been doing it for quite some time, and you've supported so many different levels of sellers. And what I always say is you might, like, just very much similar to what Mark was saying, a lot of people start out at, the beginner, because that's what you need to do. And then you grow your business. So worry not if you're just starting out. Megla can help and support you. India Sourcing Network are doing incredibly with so many different activities that you guys are doing. So with that being said, do you want me? Let me just add your presentation, Megla, and I'll let you control it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So the floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. Well, by the way, my co-founder and partner, Margaret, was also supposed to join me, but she's having some technical issues with her computer, so she won't be able to join me. She really specializes in Vietnam, whereas I focus more on India, and now we've started doing Turkey as well. So today we're going to be talking about how you can source in these alternative markets, China alternative markets, India, Vietnam, and Turkey. And the topics that we're going to be covering is why you should consider these markets, what are the pros and cons, what types of products you can source, some sourcing tips, and then we're also going to be talking about our 3 upcoming sourcing trips. And just to give some quick background about myself before I go into the presentation, I've been in the sourcing industry for over 24 years. I started in India way back in the year 2000. Then I moved to the Philippines. I was in China for about 10 years. And then I moved to Singapore. And then 2 years ago, I moved back to India to really focus on helping global Amazon e-commerce sellers and basically all types of importers to source products from India. So India Sourcing Network is a sourcing agency. We can source your products. We can manage your sourcing from India, Vietnam, and also Turkey now. And we also organize sourcing trips. All right, so let's get started. Why should you consider sourcing from these alternative markets? Now, there are a couple of different reasons. Now, number one is if you're importing into the US, and I know that a lot of Amazon e-commerce sellers, even though they are based in, say Australia or Dubai or other countries, they do want to sell into the US because, of course, that is the biggest e-commerce market out there. So there are no trade tariffs for importing products into the US from India, Vietnam, or Turkey. I'm sure a lot of you know that there are these Trump tariffs that are imposed on many products from China. So that's one big advantage. Then, of course, there's geopolitical risk when dealing only with China. Considering, I won't go into all the details, but I think everybody knows that there is some trade tension between the West and China. So that is overall a risk for your business. Putting all your eggs in one basket, sourcing all your products from China is a supply chain risk. So it's better to diversify your sourcing in order to mitigate your supply chain risks. Now, Donald Trump has been announcing this, and he's been talking about imposing even more tariffs on Chinese goods. And in fact, when Biden came into power, he did not, repeal the tariffs that Trump had imposed. In fact, he added more tariffs. So, regardless of who comes into power in the U.S., regardless of the outcome of the elections, this is something that will continue for sure. And so a lot of, not only smaller Amazon e-commerce buyers, but a lot of bigger buyers are also preparing for what might come in coming years. And they are trying to diversify their sourcing. Another issue that we're facing in China is that production costs are rising. And as the overall country progresses, becomes more developed, of course, workers are asking for more, wages, and overall production costs are rising. Whereas in emerging markets like Vietnam, India, etc., labor costs are still much lower. And so if your product requires some handwork or it is labor intensive, you can find much better prices in some of these alternative markets. In fact, over the last 8 to 10 years, a lot of the overall production of, let's say, things like apparel and bags and footwear and those things that require manual labor have been moving to places like Bangladesh, Vietnam, Cambodia, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, all of these places. And so, apparel, footwear, backpacks, bags, all of these products have been moving already. Typically, your IP is safer when you're sourcing from these other alternative markets. And one of the main reasons for this is because, in China, a lot of the factories are selling directly on Amazon under their own brands. So they are competing directly with their own customers, right? And there are many reasons for this because there's so much competition in China. There are so many factories. There's just so much saturation in the manufacturing industry that factories have to diversify. They have to sell D2C and they have to look for new avenues to generate more revenue. So a lot of these factories are selling online directly, and they are competing with their own clients. So what's happening is sometimes, and this is like, we've heard stories of people who've launched their own products, they've got patents on their products, and they get them manufactured in China, and then within a few weeks or months, sometimes even before the product has reached Amazon, it's already copied by somebody, most likely their own supplier, or somebody from the factory leaks the product to another factory, and then the product is on Amazon. So that is a serious risk. Whereas in other alternative countries like India, Vietnam, Turkey, manufacturers are not focused on selling directly on Amazon. They prefer to sell B2B, and they prefer to do bulk orders. And that is one of the main reasons why they are not, competing directly with you on Amazon. Also, there are a lot of unique products in each of these countries. So, for example, India has a lot of metal, wood, glass, fabrics, and we'll go over all of the different products that you can find in different countries. Vietnam has a lot of rattan, seagrass, ceramic. Turkey, beautiful Turkish cotton towels, furnishings, carpets, wooden items. So these are the types of items that you cannot find in other countries, especially not in China. And this is one of the ways that you can differentiate your brand from your competitors and other sellers. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons of these different markets. Now, the pros of India: low labor costs, unique products, low MOQs. Now, a lot of these products, especially products that Amazon e-commerce sellers are sourcing from India, they're handmade products. And because of this, MOQs can be very low. Like sometimes MOQs are as low as 50, 100 pieces. So that is very advantageous because that allows you to test a SKU and then launch it in a big way only if you think that it is successful, right? There's also a concept of MOV, which means minimum order value. So suppliers will say that, okay, you can place an order of, let's say, $3,000, $5,000 overall, and you can mix and match and have a variety of SKUs, within that order. So that's also very advantageous, especially if you're starting out, because that means that you can test a lot of different products and then only go ahead with those that are successful. There's also a growing wealthy middle class in India. So if you want to sell your products domestically at some point in the future, that is a possibility as well. There are a lot of recent government reforms that are promoting various industries, and they're giving incentives to suppliers and manufacturers. So, indirectly, buyers or importers also get benefits of those sort of incentives. Ease of communication. So most of the suppliers that you deal with will speak in English. So it's easy to communicate. There's nothing lost in translation. You can pick up the phone, call them. You can do a WhatsApp call, do a video call. Communication is much easier. As I also mentioned, better IP protection. A lot of eco-friendly products in India. So if you are into this niche, which is a very, fast-growing niche nowadays, there's a lot of eco-friendly products that are available. There's no long Chinese New Year holiday. In China, there's this almost like a 1 month holiday that causes a lot of disruption, not only during that 1 month, but also like 1 month before the holiday and 1 month after the holiday. So almost like 3 months, there's sort of disruption in the supply chain. And you have to, especially if you're ordering in high volumes, you have to organize your supply chain around that long holiday. So India and other countries do not have such long holidays. Of course, there are, different festivals that are celebrated, but they are usually, a day, 2 days, maximum a week, not really a month long. And then overall, India has good relations with the West. Cons of India: limited product range, and we'll talk about the specific products that you can source. It's not easy to find suppliers because there are suppliers on Alibaba and global sources. However, not a lot of suppliers have their own websites. Even if they do have their own websites, they're not up to date. So it's kind of hard to find and vet the right suppliers. There's high corporate taxes. Infrastructure improvements are in process. So sometimes, there are problems with infrastructure as well, especially during the monsoon season. There can be some issues. There's lack of automation in many of the factories. And one of the reasons for that is because labor is cheap. So factory owners, they are not incentivized to automate, right? Once labor becomes more expensive, then sort of the automatic progression of factories is to automate and install more machines. But currently, there's a lot of labor available and it's cheap, so there's not much automation. Sometimes you might find that Indian suppliers, they overpromise and underdeliver. So you've got to be very careful. Like once you place orders for things like lead times, and you've got to follow up with them on a regular basis. I'm going to go fast because I've got a lot of content. So if you have any questions, type them in the comments and we'll take the questions later on. Okay, Vietnam pros. Again, low labor costs. So it's really good for apparel, footwear, and other types of products that require some manual labor. There's skilled labor. A lot of bigger brands have set up factories, like Nike has set up their huge factory over there. A lot of the luggage brands, even electronics like Samsung, Apple, they have their factories there. So that is giving a boost to the overall supply chains. And that is also encouraging a lot of the local manufacturers to set up factories too. Low corporate taxes. There's a lot of FDI inflow, especially from China. So a lot of the factories in Vietnam, in fact, are China owned or China invested. There's government incentives for manufacturing. Now, Vietnam also has a lot of FTAs with many countries. So FTAs are basically free trade agreements. And what that means is that you can import products into those countries without any import duties. And of course, Vietnam has good relations with the West overall. The cons of Vietnam: again, limited product range, not easy to find suppliers, language barrier. So this is sometimes a language barrier in Vietnam. You might find that a lot of the factory owners or factory managers, for example, might not speak fluent English, and you may need translators when you visit factories over there. High interest rates, high inflation rates. Materials need to be imported from China. So a lot of the basics, especially like fabrics and a lot of high quality materials, might have to be imported from China. Although it's not really a limitation, but it could affect the overall price of the product, and also it could affect delivery lead times. Okay, what are the pros and cons of Turkey? Now, first of all, the biggest pro of Turkey is its proximity to Europe. So if you are in Europe or even the Middle East, in fact, deliveries can be much faster. In fact, Turkey is also known as the China of Europe. So a lot of buyers from Europe, source products from Turkey because they are delivered quickly, and it's much more efficient. And you can also order in smaller quantities if you are sourcing from Turkey into Europe, because you don't have to. Shipping costs are not that expensive. Skilled and efficient labor in Turkey. There's abundance of certain raw materials, especially cotton, and of course the infrastructure is very well established. Now, what are the cons? Limited product range. Now, this is one con you'll see, or one disadvantage of sourcing from all of these countries. Each of them specializes in a specific or in a few specific categories. It's not easy to find suppliers. Language is a barrier again. So if you go to Turkey, you do need translators, or you do need a sourcing agency or somebody on the ground to help you, find suppliers, vet suppliers, and communicate with them. High inflation rate, and also some materials need to be imported into Turkey as well. Okay, China. We've covered all the alternative markets. I thought we should also talk about China. So, wide variety of products. Of course, anything and everything is manufactured in China. Established supply chain, skilled labor, developed infrastructure, availability of materials and components, and a very strong established electronic sector. So none of the other alternative countries so far have a well-established electronic sector. India is probably the only country that is developing an electronic sector. But currently what's happening is that it's mostly the MNCs, the larger companies that have established their factories here. They are manufacturing for their own brands like, Apple, Xiaomi, Samsung, and gradually more, like smaller companies will set up their factories, and they'll be providing OEM or private label services to, say, Amazon e-commerce sellers. Currently, if you are an e-commerce seller and you want to do like power banks, China is the only place to go. You won't be able to find the variety of products or pricing in India or anywhere else that you'd find in China, right? So for electronics, China is still the main production hub, but I think in the next 2 to 3 years, that is definitely going to change. Rising labor and production costs, and this is not something new. This has been happening for the last 5 to 10 years, and gradually a lot of the low-end production is kind of moving out of China. In fact, a lot of the apparel low-end production has already moved out, and China is also moving up the value chain. They are focusing on more like high-tech products. They're doing more R&D. They're building like electric cars and self-driving cars and things like that. So they are moving up the value chain, and they themselves don't want to do the low-end kind of production. Ongoing regional disputes, ongoing international trade tensions, lack of IP protection, Western consumer resentment. Like sometimes we find that there are some certain perceptions around China just because of the different value system that China has compared to the West. Questions around ethical sourcing as well. So to sum this entire section up, China is still the most important production hub, or the world's factory. However, that is changing. That has been changing over the last few years. And moving forward, sourcing is going to be very different. Sourcing is going to be more fragmented. You're going to be looking at different production hubs for specific categories. And, there's not going to be like one main production hub. So it is going to be diversified. And that is true for whether you're a small seller selling on Amazon, whether you're a 7-figure seller, or whether you're a billion-dollar company. Everybody who has a products business is going to be following the same path. They're going to be diversifying, and they're going to have different sources of their products. All right, so let's talk about the different products that you can find in each of these countries. So India, home decor and gift items. And here I'm mostly focusing on the types of products that Amazon e-commerce sellers can source and are having success with. There are, of course, a lot of like industrial products and machinery and construction equipment and all, but we're not going into that. Okay, so the biggest category from India is home decor and gift items. And these are mostly made from natural materials like metal, wood, ceramic, jute, cotton, glass, marble. Kitchen and tableware items in the same kind of materials. Furniture, furnishings. There's a huge variety of like cushion covers, rugs, bedspreads, home furnishing items, kitchen furnishing items. Also things like aprons, oven mitts, etc. Pet products, eco-friendly products. I'll show you some of the products in subsequent slides as well. Fashion, so there's jewelry, accessories, textiles and apparel. This is one of India's biggest categories, And again, India specializes in natural materials. So cotton, denim, silk, wool, those are the key materials. Of course, there is polyester available as well. It would probably be more of the basic polyester fabrics. If you want more, advanced polyester or let's say functional fabrics, then China or Taiwan are better for those types of items. Organic cotton is amazing from India. So if you're looking for any type of organic cotton products, such as baby products or women's wear, India is fantastic for that. Leather, so very high quality leather plus craftsmanship is really amazing. So you can do like clothing, bags, wallets, pet products, equestrian products, huge variety of leather items. Food, superfoods, tea, coffee, spices. We're doing a lot of orders of shilajit nowadays. And in fact, I see somebody's from Pakistan in this watching as well. And shilajit is also sourced in Pakistan. So we've done it from there, and we're also sourcing it from India. All right, so here's just some, images of different types of products. So these are glass, metal, wood, and marble. A lot of focus on the design and aesthetics of the products. So Indian suppliers really invest in designing very beautiful products. And in fact, when you go to this trade show, so there's this trade show in Delhi that we visit during India sourcing trip, and suppliers are very protective of their designs, right? And so if you are taking photos or videos over there, they will immediately stop you because they don't want their designs to sort of leak out, or they don't want other suppliers to be copying their designs. So whenever you go to a trade show like this, you have to ask them, is it okay if I take photos of your products? Okay, so these are just some kitchen and dining items. One of the things that Indian suppliers really specialize in is mixing and matching different types of materials. Like, for example, here you'll see there's this cutting board that has a wooden plank in the middle, and then on either side it has marble. And then similarly over here, this is a wooden cutting board and it has resin in the middle. So leather products, footwear, bags, equestrian, leather diaries. There's this brand that is doing almost like, high six figures just with leather diaries. A lot of furniture items. For furniture items, there's also a niche type of furniture item, which is antique furniture that you'll find in India. There's a city called Jodhpur in North India that really specializes in antique looking furniture. And they also have furniture that's made from reclaimed wood. So it's actually very, old wood. Okay, fashion jewelry, a lot of semi-precious stones, silver, sterling silver, gold, even diamonds, if someone's interested. Fashion garments, again, made of organic cotton, silk, linen, and wool, a lot of natural materials, especially cotton dresses. That is a huge export category from India. Pet products, metal, leather, fabric, all types of like pet bowls. These are pet urns. These are also very popular on Amazon. Pet beds, bags, accessories, toys. Eco-friendly products. So this is very interesting. These wine bottle holders over here and this bag, these are made from a material called cork, which is very eco-friendly. And this material is, they're making different types of items. Like I have a wallet that I'm using made of this material. And there are other materials that are being experimented with. So for example, there's cactus that is being used for fabric. There's, banana fibers, corn. So a lot of these different alternative materials are being used nowadays. Of course, these are not really mass market materials yet. They are still very niche and the prices may be higher than regular leather or regular PU, but there is a niche market for these types of items. And you can charge a premium price for these high-end alternative materials. Okay, furnishings and macrame, lots of cushion covers, huge variety of rugs, carpets, and bedspreads, bed sheets, very competitive pricing as well. Fabrics, now all types of fabrics. Now there's also a lot of hand block printed fabric. So this napkin that you see over here at the bottom is actually hand block printed. And this is a technique that has been followed in India in a certain city for, thousands of years or so. And it's a very basic process of printing, but the overall effect of hand block printing is very beautiful, and it's a handmade process, so it's a very unique kind of process. This is a map that shows all the different types of fabrics that are available throughout India. Each state specializes in different types of fabrics, and this is what I was saying when I was, mentioning that okay, there are unique products in each of these countries. Now you will not be able to find these types of fabrics in China or Turkey or Vietnam. Each country has their own specific unique fabrics and products that you can take advantage of. For example, in India, this over here, this pink fabric, it's called chicken curry. Now, this is a very special type of embroidery that is done with white thread over these pastel color kind of fabrics. And the fabrics are also very, sheer fabrics. So it's a very special technique. And there are artisans that specialize in this kind of embroidery. Now, of course, most of the materials are currently used for Indian style dresses, but you could use it for like a Western style dress or maybe a shirt or a scarf. So all of these different types of fabrics, if you are creative, you can use them for different types of products that are popular in your markets. This is a map of India that shows all of the different types of products. And maybe I can share the slides with Crystal later in case anybody, wants the slides as well, so that you have an idea of the different types of products. But a lot of the production is actually centered in North India over here. And there are specific production hubs for different types of products. So for example, Moradabad is a city that really manufactures a lot of metal and wooden products. Khurja is for ceramics, Kanpur is for leather, Firozabad is for glass. So a lot of cities specialize in different materials. All right, let's talk about Vietnam. So Vietnam, a big category is textiles and clothing and all types of fabrics. A lot of the polyester and functional fabrics are in fact imported from China, but increasingly there are more textile mills also being set up in Vietnam. Sportswear, activewear, swimwear, these are great categories. Fashion accessories such as sunglasses, scarves, belts, hats. Footwear, this is a huge, huge, huge category, especially sports footwear, leather footwear, ladies' sandals, huge category. And it all started around 10 years ago when Nike first set up their factory in Vietnam. And that has really given a boost to the local footwear industry. Bags and backpacks. If you're looking for any type of backpack, like specialty backpack, mountaineering backpack, or like even a baby carrier, for example, or camera backpack, they're really good and high quality bags and backpacks available in Vietnam. Furniture, this is a huge category. In fact, for some years, Vietnam's exports of furniture has been more than China's exports of furniture. I mean, if you think about it, China is such a massive country, right? And compared to China, Vietnam is so tiny, but still their furniture exports are almost at par with China's exports. So this is a huge category. And they're doing all types of furniture, whether it's sofa, beds, knockdown, tables, you name it, you can find it in Vietnam. Rattan basketware. This is a category that a lot of Amazon e-commerce sellers are having success with. Again, small MOQs, a lot of handmade products. You can also use the artisans that make these products. You can add them to your brand story. And you can sort of say that, okay, these are handmade by women in these villages, and you are providing employment and helping uplift their lives. So that makes a nice brand story as well. Lacquerware, marble products, electronics. Now, a lot of the electronics are still mostly manufactured by the larger brands, although there are some Chinese factories that are investing in more, like consumer products, and you'll be able to buy like power banks and things like that. But it's at a very nascent stage right now. It's nothing compared to what you'll find in Shenzhen, for example, in China, that is the electronics capital of the world. A lot of plastic products like, home items such as storage containers and pots and pans and things like that. Not of plastic, but metal as well. Then there's leather products and packaging. So these are some of the key items from Vietnam. We'll just go through some of these images quickly. So these are the rattan and bamboo products. I find this cat house so cute. But we've been to a lot of these factories in Vietnam, and the quality is really good. That's something that I found. Like a lot of different countries also make these bamboo rattan, like India also does it. But if I have to choose between India and Vietnam for these products, I will choose Vietnam. Lacquerware, again, some very beautiful designs, unique designs that you can find. Ceramics and bone china, very high quality, all types of dinnerware and also decorative items. Bags, backpacks, suitcases. Wooden furniture and other types of wooden products. We talked about that. Clothing and textiles. So again, Vietnam really specializes in functional fabric. And a lot of these fabrics are imported from China, as I mentioned. Footwear, all types of different footwear, packaging items, and plastic and rubber goods as well. All right, let's talk about Turkey. So one of the biggest categories from Turkey is women's apparel and all types of apparel, basically, but really good quality men's formal suits. We had actually attended this trade show a couple of months ago, and Crystal was there as well. And there were a lot of manufacturers that were exhibiting, apparel over there. And there was this one company, I think I have an image of that also. They had a linen men's formal suit, and it was looking so classy. So very unique designs coming out for specifically for formal wear, men's and women. Jackets and outerwear, so winter jackets, ski jackets, those kinds of things. Baby and kids garments, wooden home products, cosmetics and skincare. This is a huge category, and there are a lot of private label suppliers that are coming up nowadays, and they're making it very easy for people like you, startups, Amazon e-commerce sellers, to basically private label cosmetics and skincare. And there are all types of cosmetic skincare, from creams to lipsticks to anti-aging products, and you name it, you'll be able to find it there. Perfumes, cotton towels and hammams. Of course, this is one of Turkey's main categories, and the towels that we saw over there were just very, very high quality, very soft, very absorbent, and the hammams are just amazing. I mean, once you start using a hammam towel, I don't think you want to go back to a regular towel, because it's just so absorbent, and it's fast drying, and it's light. It's really great for traveling as well. Cotton furnishings and bed linen, carpets and rugs, furniture, bedding, pillows, dry fruits and spices such as figs, and some toys and games as well. So this is the linen suit that I was referring to over here. It was just looking so classy. And then they've got these other women's formal wear, jackets that were looking very nice and classy with embroidery and other embellishments. A lot of wooden items as well. Again, functional designs, some unique kind of designs, you'd find as well. This was very interesting. This is actually made from bamboo, and this is a knife set. And the knife is also made from bamboo, and it's pretty sharp. And this is a very popular brand in Turkey, actually. And they also do OEM. But this entire knife is like made of bamboo. It's like, how does that even work? But it works. Some more kitchenware made of bamboo. Metal items. Now, a lot of these metal items are, of course, very unique and specific to Turkey. But of course, they can do other types of metal items as well, and lighting too, or mostly lamps, like really beautiful lamps. Towels. So one of the things that I found very interesting was, of course, the towels are very high quality. Plus, they've got these beautiful like embroideries and embellishments. Like, I have not seen these kinds of towels anywhere else in the world, seriously. And I was like, wow, what is this? They're just so beautiful, and they're ideal for gifting, and really high quality, fluffy, soft, absorbent. Plus, they have these beautiful embroideries and embellishments. Amazing. So this is a hammam towel, very soft. And it's got like a pile on one side and a cotton fabric on the other side. Bathrobes, again, huge variety of different types of bathrobes for kids, for adults, for men, women, so many different prints available. Again, embroideries, embellishments, like beautiful collection of all of these types of products. Okay, these are some of the private label skincare cosmetics, so they make it very easy. They offer you a lot of different formulations that you can choose from. And you can also give your own formulations if you have your own ideas, right? Or you can choose from the formulations that they have. And then they will provide you all of the different packaging options. So for creams, do you want a tube? Do you want a bottle like this? Do you want sprays? So they have all of these different options available for packaging. You can choose that. And then the type of labeling you want. And a lot of these companies also understand certification, especially for Europe. So they'll provide you with the certifications as well, or they will guide you on what certifications are needed. So they're making this private labeling of cosmetics and skincare very easy. Okay, that was products. Now let's get on to the last section, which is sourcing tips. And this is like a collection of sourcing tips, regardless of where you're sourcing from, but specifically, if you're sourcing from these alternative countries, these are some things that you must keep in mind. Of course, each country is different, and there are specific things that you must keep in mind when sourcing from each country. But in general, these are some items that I would recommend. So first of all, pick a factory that fits your size, because there's factories that are, huge, gigantic, and they only have like MOQs in the containers. Whereas if you're just starting out, if you're a small Amazon e-commerce seller, you want to maybe start small, and you want to, you want the factory to be flexible with you in terms of your order size. Understand their capability. And this is very important, especially in India, because what happens is sometimes if you ask a supplier if they can make a specific product, they will say, yes, we can make it. And then they will go and outsource it to somebody else or find another factory to make it. And that sometimes creates issues in terms of quality control, especially if you're not working with a sourcing agent, if you're working directly, because the supplier themselves don't have much control over the product because they're outsourcing it to somebody else. So understand the supplier's key capability and source the products that the supplier makes in-house and that they specialize in. Use local resources and boots on the ground. I mean, you can source on your own from these countries as well. I mean, Turkey and Vietnam are trickier. India, you can still source on your own because there's less of a communication barrier. But Turkey and Vietnam, I would strongly recommend to use a sourcing agent or somebody on the ground to help you. Even in India, it's advisable to have some sort of assistance. In Turkey and Vietnam, you might need translation help, whereas in India, you can still manage on your own without a translator. Always do third-party in production and final inspections so that you are sure that the product that you are ordering or the product that is being shipped is what you had ordered. If your order value is above $10,000, you should do 2 inspections, one during production or in production and one final inspection. If it is $10,000 and less, you can just do one final inspection. Clear and correct specifications and requirements. This is extremely important because most problems that happen in sourcing are because of miscommunication. I mean, believe it or not, I've been in the sourcing industry for 20 plus years. I've seen it all. And most suppliers are good suppliers. They want to do business with you, regardless of where they are located. But the issue is miscommunication. They did not understand what you wanted. So it's extremely important to be very, very clear about what exactly you want in terms of color, specifications, finishes, thickness, everything. You could also do factory audits. If you're not sure of the factory, sometimes people think that, factory audit might be very expensive, but it actually costs like maybe a couple $100 just to send somebody over there, take pictures, photos, and we offer that sort of service as well. Visit the factory if possible. That really changes the game, especially if you're starting to scale your business. Visiting the factory, building relationships, and talking to the person, sitting with them across the table, negotiating, that really communicates to them that you're serious. That will get you better pricing. That will make sure that you are being prioritized by them and they're answering your emails and your questions faster. It just changes the game when you visit them personally, or even if you see them at a trade show. Develop relationships, like especially India, Vietnam, they're very strong on relationships. Of course, in China as well, if you're sourcing from China, you know the term called guanxi. Well, in India, it's guanxi times 4. So relationships are everything. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Once you place the order, just don't place an order and forget it. That's one of the things that we do at our sourcing agency. We're constantly following up with suppliers, making sure that everything is on time and there are no issues. And be patient. When you're sourcing from China, you're expecting and responses come really fast and they're very efficient. China has really mastered the overall export process, whereas these alternative markets, they're still emerging, and they're slower to respond. They're not as fast paced as China is. So be patient. Don't expect to receive a reply within like 5 minutes of sending an RFQ, for example. All right, so those were the sourcing tips. Now let's talk about our sourcing trips. So if you want to build profitable, sustainable e-commerce brands, one of the best ways to do that is to go to the source where these products are manufactured. You'll get the best prices, you'll see the best products at trade shows, and you'll meet the best suppliers. So we welcome you to join our learning, sourcing, and cultural guided tours to 3 countries: India, that's coming up in October; Turkey, this is our maiden and first trip that we're launching in partnership with Crystal. We're so excited about this trip. And our Vietnam sourcing trip, which is going to happen in April 2025. Now, why should you join one of these sourcing trips? So first of all, you increase your profitability by sourcing innovative products that others do not have access to. Like, everybody's going to China to source the same products that Chinese manufacturers are also selling, by the way. And you are going to different markets. So you are zigging when everybody is zagging. So be different and try to differentiate your brand by going to the source of innovative products. Secondly, you will get good prices. As I mentioned, when you travel to a trade show, when you meet a supplier in person, it tells them that you are serious about your business. They will definitely give you better prices. They'll be more responsive to you. And, versus somebody who's just contacting them online, they're going to be more responsive to you. They'll give you better terms. They'll process your orders faster. They'll prioritize your orders. And it's just going to be better business. Speed up the sourcing process. When you're at a trade show or when you're visiting a factory, you're seeing so many different products. You're touching and feeling the products to determine their quality. When you're sourcing online, you're basically waiting for samples to be shipped to you. That takes a couple of weeks. Then you don't like the sample. Then you go to the next supplier. It can take weeks, if not months, just to finalize a product if you're sourcing online. But if you are at a trade show, you're seeing thousands of products at the same time, meeting suppliers, and it's just a different ballgame. It just changes the game entirely. Also, you can find new suppliers for existing products. So many people who come to our sourcing trips, they either are looking for innovative products, new products, or they want alternative suppliers for their products. Of course, you have to make sure that these countries are right for your products. Like if you are looking for electronics, we're not going to ask you to come on one of our trips. China is a place to go. But if you're looking for home furnishings, for example, India, or if towels, for example, then Turkey. You can learn all about sourcing from these countries on this trip. So we organize a lot of informational sessions. We do conferences. We have sourcing experts with us. We talk about logistics, quality control, finding suppliers, packaging, everything. It's like a crash course in sourcing from all of these countries. So if you're doing this on your own online, it will take you 6 months, a year, a lot of trial and error to learn all of this, whereas we're providing all of this to you on a platter in a very concise form. We're giving you all of the information that you really, really, really need to get started sourcing from these countries. Know which products can be sourced from where. That is extremely important because, as I mentioned, each country specializes in different products. So if your product is not produced in a specific country, it doesn't make sense to go there. Meet with suppliers and sourcing service providers. So we provide you with introductions to service providers that you will need if you want to source directly. So freight forwarders, translators, and sourcing agencies is like we are a sourcing agent. So we can source your product as well if you want after one of these trips. We also introduce you to quality control companies, for example. So all service providers that you will need to source from one of these countries. You visit factories. That is a game changer. Like once you visit the factory, you understand how the product is made. What are the limitations of the machines, for example? What can you do? What can you not do? That totally changes your perspective, and it allows you to develop so many more different products. When you're in a factory's showroom, just imagine this. There are thousands of products on display, or you're at a trade show. You're getting so many ideas that you would never have if you're just sitting there behind your computer trying to source, via Alibaba or online. You can also immerse in the country's culture and history. So in all of our trips, we include a little bit of something that is specific, culturally to the country. For example, for India, we go to the Taj Mahal, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. In Vietnam, we do an overnight stay in Ha Long Bay, which is one of the very picturesque places in Vietnam. And in Turkey, we're going to be doing a lot of sightseeing as well. There's so much history and culture in Turkey as well. And food, that's one of my favorite parts. So we really put a lot of effort in making sure that you get to taste the different cuisines in all of these countries because, of course, food is important. And then networking with all the different sellers, service providers, whether you're whether you're at a conference or whether you're meeting people at a networking event. I'm sure everybody understands the importance of networking and how you can learn from each other's mistakes. Like just one tip that you get from somebody that you meet at these events can change your business. I mean, just imagine you'll have access to Crystal. If you come on the Turkey sourcing trip for 8 days, you'll have access to Crystal. You can sit with her during breakfast and dinner and pick her brain about so many different things. And there are going to be other e-commerce and sourcing experts as well. So the networking is absolutely next level at all of these sourcing trips that we organize. Okay, so that's the end of my session. If you need more information, you can reach out to us at info@indiasourcingtrip.com. I've just put in one email address for all 3 trips, or you can message me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Just search for me. You can get more information at indiasourcingtrip.com and vietnamsourcingtrip.com. And Turkey, we're still launching our website in the next couple of weeks, so you'll have more information about that soon.
Megla, I was just waiting for you to say, like, yeah, okay, part of the sourcing is also the actual, part of the sourcing trip is the actual trip, because it's so much fun. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's
lots
like
of
business plus
yeah,
plus
lots of
pleasure,
different
both.
advantages. And one of the
Yeah.
things that I was thinking about as you were explaining, like the last slide, is also one
Hmm.
of the things that a lot of sellers, specifically people who are starting out, constantly say is, the market is saturated. I want to sell this product, but I don't know how to differentiate it. Everything looks the same when I log into Alibaba. That
Mm.
this is one of the ways of how you can differentiate by actually physically
Exactly.
going to different markets,
Yeah.
different countries to source your products, and physically going to these factories so that you can think about ways of differentiating your product.
Exactly. And Crystal, just yesterday I was talking to somebody. They are an agency in the US and they launch different brands, on Amazon. And they're
Yeah,
sourcing from all different countries. And just yesterday, this person told me that it's getting so hard in China. He said, get ready. We're going to be moving 90% of our sourcing to India, Vietnam, and other countries because China is getting so tough, especially now that Amazon is launching this new section where they are basically going to be giving access to Chinese manufacturers, like
yeah,
Temu and Shane. So it's going to
yeah,
be
directly.
lower
Yeah,
price products. And so that's going to, of course, for many products, there is no alternative. You have to
yeah,
source
yeah.
from China for a lot of
Or
different
maybe if
products.
you're
But
just
we're,
starting out, China is the way
yeah,
to go because it's much
yeah,
easier for you. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Megla, for your time. If anyone has
No
any
problem.
question, either type it in the chat right now, type it in the comment later on if you're watching the video. I'll make sure Megla sees it and answers the comments, or you can directly reach out to Megla and the India sourcing team. They're very, very, very active. So these are all of the those are the websites, and you can just send an email to info@indiasourcingtrip.com, whether you're interested in the sourcing trip or you want more information about how to source products from these countries. Like Megla says, she organized this sourcing trip, but India Sourcing Network is not just specifically for India, Vietnam, Turkey. You guys do sourcing for sellers across these three countries.
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Megla, for your time. It was great to see you, and see you soon.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Yep. I'll see you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. So, Megla, incredible presentation as always. I hope you are excited and I hope the information was very helpful. If you guys have any questions right now, we didn't have a lot more time. That's why we weren't able to answer any of your questions. Please leave your questions. Are you currently sourcing your products in China? Are you currently sourcing them from somewhere else? If you're based in the UAE, are you sourcing them in the UAE? Let me know. Type in the comments right now. If you are still starting out, then let us know that you're still starting out. Now, I know a lot of you also are very new to selling online and to selling on Amazon. So let me know if you've ever considered trademarking your brand, or maybe patenting your creation, or copywriting your images or your information. Let us know if you have any idea what any of those mean. So let us know. T for trademark, P for patent, C for copywriting. Have you done this, or are you thinking about it? I know trademarking in particular for Amazon sellers is a very, very, very important subject because it helps you become brand registered on Amazon. And as you might know, when you are brand registered, Amazon gives you what is known as A+ content or enhanced brand content, which means you can add a store, you can add video, you can add so many additional things that can help you sell better, increase your conversion rate. So I'm not going to be the one talking about this. Thank you so much for actually, let's introduce them. Maru and Zubair from Kaz IP. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. And so sorry for making you wait so long. Thank you for your patience. How are you both? Zubair, let's start off with you. Are you currently in the UAE, or are you coming from, or are you attending this from Canada?
I'm attending it from Canada.
Oh my God. So
Yeah,
the time is very, very bad for
yeah,
you.
it's
So
3:45 a.m. in the morning.
thank you so much, Zubair. You
No
always
problem, no problem.
are
Thank you for
very, very
inviting
generous
us.
with your
Thank you for
time.
inviting
Hey,
us.
Maru, how are you?
I'm good, Crystal, and thank you so much for inviting us. We are very
You are
excited
always
to.
very generous with the information that you provide all of our, our community, our followers. This is the first time we have you officially on the channel. Certainly not going to be the last time. But we did an event together. I believe it was last year, Zubair, right?
Yeah,
During
Last
yeah,
year,
summer
it was
last
like
yes.
year. Yeah. It was a very, very popular event. It was an in-person event, and Zubair was able to answer all of your questions. So we do have an event coming up in September, but we're not going to announce it just yet, just to keep people excited about the event. So I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to let you do your own thing. Let me just add the presentation for you here. You'll be able to control it yourself, and please, you go ahead and take it from here.
Hi, everyone. So let me introduce our firm, Kaz IP. So Kaz IP is an intellectual property service and corporate advisory firm. We have over 25 years of expertise in the field of intellectual property. We specializes mainly in trademark registration, copyright protection, patent filing, IP valuation, and IP enforcement. So we are headquartered in UAE with our international branches. We are a leading firm offering comprehensive IP services across 50 plus countries as of the moment. And I would like to add that Kaz IP has earned an award this year, that is UAE IPR Excellence Award. Having said that, let me just quickly give a brief introduction. So Zubair is the founder and CEO of Kaz IP, the brain behind it. He holds an LLM in company law, and he boasts an illustrious career of 25 plus years in this field. I am partnering him as a managing partner of Kaz IP. I take a keen interest specifically in trademark registration and IP valuation. Starting off, what is intellectual property? So the answer to this question is a very simple phrase, that is ideas which are worth protecting. And to define you it in simpler words, intellectual property itself is an umbrella term which covers all the creations of your mind, such as any invention, your literary work, your artistic work, your creative work, designs, symbols, names, images, anything that you use in commerce. That is your IP. So, to explain it a little further, there are different types of IPs. So number one is trademark. So what is a trademark? So in trademark, we do the protection for your brand's name. You have seen the swoosh of Nike logo. That is the trademark. Patent. Patent you do for safeguarding your inventions or technology. And the example is the technology behind the iPhone. So that can be patented. Then comes the copyright. So, copyright covers your creative work like books, music, films, and a very good example to that is our favorite Harry Potter series that is copyrighted. Then comes the trade secret. So, trade secret is also a form of IP that secure your confidential information. And the example to that is the Coca-Cola secret formula. So now you have an idea what is an IP and what are its different types. So let's further dive into our next question. So what we will do, we'll keep our focus mainly to the trademark because it is more related to the e-commerce seller. So why trademark matters? So at any point, have you ever worried about someone copying your product and design or brand name? The answer to this is yes, because every entrepreneur's major fear is getting copied in the market. Very quickly, I'll give you one scenario here. Just imagine there is a brand X. popular for its innovative gadgets and sleek designs. They are into the market selling on e-commerce. They started noticing a surge in customers complain, return products, defective products. And upon investigation, they find out that these products are not genuine. Counterfeit products are being sold under their brand name. Okay, now at this point, when you find the infringement happening, if the brand X has a trademark registration, what they will be able to do, they will be able to take a legal action and stop the infringement. Because they had the IPR rights registered in their name, they will be able to enforce it. And what would have happened in the other case if that brand X was not a trademark brand? Things would have get more difficult for them to get it enforced. So the key benefits your brand can get if you get a trademark registration, and trademark registration matters to e-commerce brands the most. And what are the key benefits? Number one is that your brand identity and recognition. Your trademark brand, when it is in the market, it helps your consumers to identify it. It obviously gives you the legal protection, as I have given you one example. Apart from that, it gives the brand the trust and the credibility. Of course, your consumer would select your trademarked brand over any other alternatives present in the market. And the most important thing is the asset value. Just getting your brand registered turns your mere idea into the most valuable asset, and it increases your overall business value. So that is why trademark matters. So while we are on it, I would like you to understand some very basic do's and don'ts of the trademark registration. So what you must do is conduct a thorough search in the market before selecting your brand name. Why? And see, ensure that it is unique. When it is unique and you do the search in the market, you will come to know that, okay, your brand can make an impact. So, and searching can avoid many conflicts which can come on the way during your entrepreneur journey. After that, get it registered. Once the registration is done, your role will not end here. After getting the registration, regularly check for the unauthorized use. Keep an eye out, be vigilant. And after that, keep it updated. Keep an eye when your trademark registrations are up for renewal. If you have made any changes in your brand identity, its image, its look, update your trademark registration as well. Having said that, on the other hand, what are some don'ts of the trademark? So, number one, don't use generic name, avoid common names, descriptive names, characteristic names. Be unique. Okay? And if you find out any infringement and copy in the market, do not ignore it. Do not ignore it and take a legal action. And don't forget the international market. Obviously, you will start the registration from your primary market, but as trademarks are jurisdiction wise, so keep in your mind that what are the regions you are operating in, and simultaneously get the registrations in all those regions. That will give you the ultimate protection. All right. So I hope you get an idea what are the basic do's and don'ts. Okay, so you get the trademark registration done, and after that, what comes next is the enforcement part, enforcing your trademark rights. So in that, the number one thing is monitoring your trademark. You have to keep an eye that whether any infringement is happening or not, and for that you have a lot of different tools, online tools, search engines. You can do the self monitoring, or you can hire any IP firm to keep an eye out on your behalf. So this is the first part of the enforcement. Then the next is responding to the infringement. Responding to the infringement, when you find out that your brand is being copied in the market, you have to take the legal step. You have to send the legal notices. And if necessary, if it is not being resolved with just a notice, you can anytime escalate the matters legally in the court, because you are a registered brand. And working with marketplaces like Amazon can give you, your registered brand, a leverage, because it gives you a credibility. And if you are visible and credible in the market, obviously your brand is will be well known. So we are open to any questions if you have related to IP, specifically if you are talking about this region. These are our contact details, and we are open for the questions.
Thank you so much, guys. This was incredible. So, if anyone has any question right now related to all the IP services that you provide, please leave your comments right now and we'll be able to answer them directly. But I have a question. I'm not sure who amongst you wants to answer it. But both of you are incredible at what you guys do. But the question is there any difference? Because when you talked, Maru, about trademarking, the do's and don'ts, does this pertain to a particular country, like trademarking in the UAE, or is it completely the same no matter which country you decide to trademark in?
Yeah, it's let me answer it. It's same to in all the countries. Basically, the administration of the intellectual property is administered internationally by the World Intellectual Property Organization. So the basic feature points are same in all the countries. Same actual process, same period of publication, same sort of legal actions available. Actions can differ according to the civil law,
Got
but
it.
they have these legal and civil and criminal remedies in each countries. So it is available not only in UAE but anywhere anyone wants to register the trademark, they and or protect themselves. They have these laws and facilities there.
Perfect. What about patenting? Because I know it's a completely different process. How difficult of a process is it when you create a product and you think, "Let me patent it because I created it, so I might as well protect it."
See, first of all, we need to understand what is the creation. Whether because in patent it has to be a very unique and noble
Yeah.
invention or an innovation. If it's an invention or an innovation, then in that case we need to first understand whether this patent is available in the market or not, or someone has registered this already in any part of the world. It's not limited to one region, one country. Patent is the wide is the only segment which is spread whole over the world. When you do a
Okay.
search, it has to be calculated together all around the world. That's why it comes under the patent treaty,
Got it.
patent
Okay.
cooperative treaty, under which it comes.
So that's the best way you can protect an innovation,
Yes.
no matter, protect it from somebody in China manufacturing it, even if you have no access to
No,
China, as an
that's why there's a
example.
different process. Like you register a trademark, it takes for 6 months in the UAE and you get it registered. But when you register a patent in a particular country, you go with the base application, and then you have a particular time frame where you can file a PCT application, and that can protect you into 161 countries,
Got it.
including China.
Yeah, including China, which is one of, unfortunately, a little bit of a problematic country. So, for anyone who doesn't know, you guys have an incredible podcast. I think it's really, really cool that you're doing this. And I know this is one of probably the only podcast about IP protection.
Yes.
So I've actually added all of the links into the comments. So anyone who wants to watch it, the podcast is called Talk Right with Kaz. So it's all about IP, all about the problems that you find people when it comes to IP protection facing and all. And I think what you are doing is just deconstructing the myths about anything related to IP protection, because
Yes.
I know there's a lot of myths out there, a lot of hearsay. And since you guys have so much experience, you're just putting your knowledge and information to use. So, how has that journey been? Zubair, how were you forced into doing this
And
podcast?
this all credit goes to Maro. Actually,
I
she
know.
she forced me to, because I was much reluctant, and I'm doing a podcast was the what I never thought of it, but
But it's a great
she
idea.
she she
Maru
made all the
is a great
ideas,
idea.
and
He knows that.
credit goes
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
See, the idea behind starting a podcast was to educate
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
entrepreneur out there, and who else could do it better than Zubair?
we are
Well,
not
both of
basically
you, you're
selling
you're
there.
incredible as well. But yeah, exactly, because there's a lot of uh, common misconceptions, and it's not possible to do it one on one. And the great thing that these days you can create a podcast, a YouTube channel, whatever, and then you can put out that information for people to consume it and to get the right information. So good on you. That's it for our session. So I would like to really, really thank you very much for your time. Anyone
Thank you
that
so
has
much.
any question, they can reach out to you directly. This is your contact information. And just to be clear, you're able to support sellers with all types of IP registration, such as, mostly for Amazon sellers, we would require trademarking, but you support not just in the Middle East, in every single country. So no matter what you need help, just reach out to Kaz IP. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, we had incredible guests for our first ever e-commerce connections summer event. We're going to be holding another summer event soon. So make sure that you keep following us on all of our social media. If you are part of our mailing list, you will get an email. If not, then follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, anywhere and everywhere. We're mostly very active on Instagram. Please make sure to leave any comments, any questions, no matter when you are watching this, if you're not watching it live, because I'll make sure that anyone that has attended will reach out back to you. And as always, thank you so much for your support, and I will certainly see you soon. Bye.